Hey, this is Gary from Night Dreams Talk Radio. I want to welcome a new sponsor to our show, PhoenixShaving.com. I know what you're thinking, right? Oh, another disposable razor company. Well, the fact is they're not. You remember the razors that your father and his father shaved with? Did you ever notice they didn't have, well, the embarrassing razor burn or ingrown hairs or the razor bumps after they shaved? Did you notice they were also relaxed after they were done shaving? Well, the problem is these big corporations want to sell you razor after razor after razor. Think about how much money you spend a year on razors. Or do you use electric razor? Then you're going to find out what razor burn is. So you need to check out Phoenix Shaving Starter Kits. They come complete with the soap, the brush, and a 2.5-month supply of blades, and the most important part of it, a all-metal razor, built to last generations. So, hey, you can donate it to one of your sons when they turn 18. Check out PhoenixShaving.com and tell them that Gary from Night Dream said, hey, I want one. That's PhoenixShaving.com now.
Provided by Kevin McLeod at Incompetech.com.
You're listening to Night Dreams Radio with Gary Anderson.
Hey, that is me. Oh, boy. Well, tomorrow is the middle of the week, and then on the 12th, we're going to have some ghost hunters on our show. Not just on Thursday. I think about another week out, then we have another set of ghost hunters who will be on our show. And if you're into ghosts and spirits and looking for ghosts, I think you ought to get on here and listen to us on the 12th of April. And I think I have Jay on the line. I'm not sure. He was in the car, and hopefully he's out of the car because it was making a lot of noise. Jay, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, that's better. I'm not hearing that ruffled noise and wind blowing and all that stuff. It was coming through, and we talked the last, a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, we were driving on the highway home.
Okay. Now, whereabouts in the country do you live?
We live in New York City. We were coming from Manhattan. We were coming to Queens.
Oh, okay. So, why don't you tell everybody about the book you wrote and what you do and all that stuff?
So, the book I wrote and the stuff I do. So, the book I wrote is called Abundance, A Journey from Anxiety and Depression. And it's my book to open up to the world, yet give them the greatest gifts I've learned so far in my life, like to really influence who I am, to be the best person I could be, and be able to work hard, figure out how to work hard, but in a way where I still take care of my health and my well-being, so all my success would not be in vain. I would not be harming myself or others around me, and I would be creating the best life for myself.
Oh, wow. Also, I was reading that you were, into real estate and all that stuff, too? Are you still into real estate? Or
real estate, I'll always be into it, but I don't know if right now I'm going to participate as an agent. I may, pass off referrals and things like that.
Okay.
If necessary, I may do it. I'm still thinking about it. It's in the back burner for now.
Okay. Yeah, I've known some people in the past that made a lot of money in real estate, but on the other hand, they made a lot of money, but they were sure unhappy after they made it. I'm talking about a relative I had, or relatives I had. That's all they did. They got obsessed with buying, property, buying apartment buildings, buying houses. And it was pretty bad towards the end of their life. I mean, they had a lot, but they were sure unhappy.
Yeah, I know a few real estate investors myself that made tons of money. They have the cars. They make tons of money. They have the cars, the homes, everything. But they're still broke because all their money is in the property they own, and down to the last penny, and they're really not treating anyone right because they always worry about their last sale. Like, not anyone. Like, outside they might treat them nice, but sometimes it's their family they may not treat right. And they may be doing it for their family, but they might not even be spending time with their family. At least, make it a consistency. It doesn't have to be every so often, but make sure you insert that love from family in your life.
Well,
and friends. I consider them family as well.
Yeah, I know. I watched my cousins, both of them. They acquired a lot of wealth, and they had a few kids, and they just unhappy. They kind of split up, lived separate. They both became really greedy. The bad part is, they lived like misers because, every bit of money they made, they just kept saving it to the point it was crazy. And then when they both passed on, the kids inherited all the money. And like one of them was totally broke within 6 months, and he inherited a few $1 million, and he just didn't know how to handle it. Went out and bought a whole bunch of stuff, and then, ended up having to go bankrupt, and he was more miserable than, if he would have never, got anything. So it can really mess with your mind, too.
That sounds spot on.
So what made you decide to write your book?
So I was in a leadership group, and when I was in the group, we were all doing different things, different arts, different ways we want to hang out with our family. It was like different categories of life that we wanted to do better in. And my book, I had went through the content of what I want to write and all these things in that time because I decided I want to write a book. And first I wrote like a good story about me. I said, how is this really serving people? It's just a story about me. So I said, let me say a little bit about me, but let me show you what I'm using, the tools I'm using that has helped me change my life so drastically already. And writing that book, I met my girlfriend. The first day I met my girlfriend, 7 days later I finished writing the book. Like, I made sure I stayed focused. And I had already had the titles and what I want to speak about. I just never wrote it. Uh-huh. And I handled it that week. And the book, what it teaches you is, first, that we all face anxiety and depression. Anything you do for the first time, you have a little anxiety. It doesn't have to be strong, but you have like a little hesitation in your mind for a split second. But what you do is learn to build over that, right? And face your fear. And that's what will really stop you from getting anxiety and depression down the long run. And there's different little techniques to grow through that, because that's one of the major epidemics that I feel that could be helped very easy. Well, not very easy, but like with a strategic way, the mind. You can really help nurture the mind. Then you go into your meditative practices. We talk about different ways of practicing gratitude, meditation, chanting, deep breathing, yoga, and then you go into the third chapter, and that's where the real, that's what I got from a lot of gurus like Steve Covey, Tony Robbins, Jack Canfield, a lot of real self-help gurus, Napoleon Hill as well. And these folks, like, they help cultivate my mind, so I got to join up all their tools, plus what I was learning spiritually, into one concise book with, like, what is your purpose, finding your purpose, how to cultivate it, beliefs, mindsets, rituals, and then a shift of mindset to abundance. And abundance, the reason I want to shift people's mindset to abundance is because if we don't realize we have enough, it'll be very hard for us to lend a helping hand. And if we want world peace, if we don't take care of ourselves, we will never be at peace. So if we're not at peace, how are we going to expect to spread peace? We're a mirror of ourselves. We're going to spread that all around. So we got to really take care of ourselves and also realize that we have enough. We have more than enough, like so much. You just have to realize it and be grateful, even in the hardest situations. Because I've been in hard situations. It's all about remembering and being grateful. And I learned that through my different practices. And everything I look at becomes more and more beautiful. And I think that's the key right there.
Yeah,
I'm not saying don't go get the wealth and what you want, but do it in the right way.
well, let's say somebody who, is not happy with their life, the way their life is not going, both emotionally and financially. What would be the first step to, try to get their life somewhat back on track? And how would they even begin to get focus on anything?
Okay. That's a great question. Thank you. I would say, first, go through those categories in your life. Go through your mental, your emotional, your physical, and your spiritual. And when I say physical, that's not just talking about your physique, which is a key thing, but that's also talking about materialistic things as well. Your finances, all those things. And I would say go through all of them and establish where you have your problems and what's your major problem. And really filter through everything and see what you could work on. And when you want to realize that, you could get a life coach. That's what I also do. And this is some techniques I use. And when you go through those things and you find out what's going on, you can find out how to get better by certain questions, like what's working and what's not. And you really just guide the person to go into their own mind and find out what will work best for them. So you're never really telling someone what to do. And allowing them to open up with the right questions will help them gain insight on their life and really drastically, be able to alter their whole mindset, right, into the right direction. So then with that, you also, when you want to get control of things, I definitely believe in meditation. I feel like that's something that gets you focused on what you want. It helps you reduce the nonsense thoughts and helps you focus on what you want. But we could even go further than just that if people are not open to it, but I'd definitely like to talk about it in a second. I would say also you have the gift of journaling. And I'm not saying writing a diary. I'm saying a bullet journal. A bullet journal is a key essential. It's not spoken about in the book because I didn't realize that it was such a great tool until I keep